Hi everyone. Today I want to answer a few questions that often a lot of clients coming into my office ask me. Sometimes I get Instagram DMs asking me these same questions. The number one question I always get asked is, how exactly does neurofeedback work? How do changes in brain patterns, how can that affect actual changes in behavior or thoughts? So I'm going to give you an example of a person who may be really anxious. What happens in a person with anxiety is they have a lot of beta activity in the frontal part of their brain. Say for example, everyone's beta levels, or people who are not anxious, their beta levels are 50. So in that case, an anxious person's beta levels would be 100. So what we do with neurofeedback is we set a reward threshold. So we connect the client who's sitting in a very comfortable chair watching something on Netflix. We connect sensors to them, and these sensors are monitoring their beta activities in the front part of the brain. Now, since this is an anxious person, their beta activity is often going to be near 100. So what we do is we first set a threshold for 90. So every time the brain can keep the beta activity below 90, the brain will get a positive reward from the Netflix screen, because the screen will become full screen, it will be clear, and the sound will be good. But if their beta levels go above 90, then the screen starts getting smaller, blurrier, and the sound gets more muffled. From this, what the brain learns is that keeping the beta levels below 90 is a good thing, because the brain gets a positive reward. So after a while, the brain will get better at keeping the beta levels below 90. Then we reduce the threshold to 80. Then the brain gets better at keeping the beta levels below 80. Similarly, we keep reducing the levels to 70, 60, and eventually 50, which means now the brain is adept at keeping the beta levels under normal control, which means they can now not have anxious thoughts, not obsess about negative things, and they can actually be a calm, positive person. Some other questions I frequently get are, how many sessions of neurofeedback you need to feel good? So there is no perfect answer to this question, I'm sorry to say. So we recommend a minimum of 20 sessions to everybody, because what we're doing in neurofeedback training is we are training your brain to learn a new habit. So we want the brain to break the current negative patterns, whatever they may be, whether it's distraction, anxiety, loss of focus, and we want to create new patterns of calmness, focus, and for your brain to learn any new habit, whether it's to learn yoga or start picking up a new hobby, the brain needs to do it 21 days. Only then it becomes a habit for a brain. So that's why we recommend a minimum of 20 sessions for everyone, so that these new patterns that we're creating in your brain, they become a habit. That doesn't mean you have to wait 20 sessions to see the benefits. You should already start seeing benefits from session 5 or 6 onwards, but these benefits will only grow and they will last a long time if you finish the full 20 sessions. However, some people with chronic conditions like chronic depression or chronic anxiety or chronic insomnia, they will definitely need more than 20 sessions. So it's difficult to tell right up front, but conditions like this definitely mean that you would need more than 20 sessions. Kids sometimes often need more than 20 sessions because it's difficult to get a lot of in-session feedback from a child. So if you're an adult and you're sitting in my chair and I'm asking you questions during a session like, are you feeling focused? Are you feeling tired? I can get a lot of feedback from the adult, but for a child, I have to wait for them to go home, and then I kind of get feedback from the parents or the teachers about their behavior that particular day. So what I can do for an adult in 20 sessions would take me 30 or 40 sessions in a child. So the sessions you need might range anywhere from 20 to 40, 50, 60, depending on how severe the condition is and how long you've had it for. 20 sessions seems to be enough for most people that don't have any major conditions or chronic conditions. And the most important question that I get all the time is, how long do the positive changes of neurofeedback last? The answer is a very, very, very long time, if you do the right number of sessions. If 20 is the right number for you and you do 20 sessions, the way you feel after you finish 20 sessions, that will remain for a very, very long time, unless you go through a really traumatic event in your life, like the loss of a loved one, loss of a job, or something really traumatic like that. In which case, you can just come back for 1 or 2 tune-up sessions and your brain can go back to feeling good. However, if at 20 sessions you don't exactly feel, you feel some benefits, but you don't feel you are at the spot you want to be, then I recommend continuing the sessions until you feel that way. But once you feel like you're in a good spot, that this is how you want your brain to be for the rest of your life, and then you stop, now whether that's 20 sessions for you, or 25, or 30, or 35, but once you stop at that point, these results remain for a very, very long time with you. So follow us on YouTube. If you have any more questions, leave them in comments or Instagram us, and I'll be very happy to answer any and all questions. I love talking about the brain. Also, give us a thumbs up and a like on YouTube.